This is Karen with NewClevelandRadio.net. And today we are back with podcasting with performers from Cafe Lena. And this past year, it's been a really tough one. There have been some live concerts at Cafe Lena that have uh, been streamed, but as of April the 1st, Cafe Lena is open and we can come in and see performances just like Honeysuckle. So we have Chris and Holly with us and give us a little background like, uh, what got you into music and how'd you get to Cafe Lena, one of the best places to play?
Sure. Well, Chris and I both grew up playing music. Chris had a musical family of other musicians. My family were just music appreciators, but we both ended up going to Berklee College of Music after high school. That's where we met and formed the band. We lived in Boston for several years, and I worked at a music venue called Club Passim, which is also a nonprofit folk club. So kind of through Passim and through touring as the band, we found Cafe Lena. We played Cafe Lena, I think 2 years ago now, on tour with a band called Dead Horses. And we just loved it. And kind of Club Passim has been around since about the same time period. So, very new sort of the like folklore that it's steeped in, the rich history, the fact that Bob Dylan and all the greats had played there. So it was really special, and it's beautiful. The renovation is gorgeous. So that's kind of how we came to know it. And then during COVID, we moved to Ballston Spa. So now it's kind of our local folk club.
Absolutely. And for those who aren't familiar with the area, that is basically part of Saratoga Springs, and you are in a beautiful area, and it's where the music never dies, and I love that. So, what's it been like this past year for, you know, people in the music industry who live for performing?
It's been very difficult. I mean, from the venue side, I had my last shift at Club Passim on March 11th, and it's been closed ever since, which is really heartbreaking. You get used to that community aspect of a venue and your regulars and music appreciators. It kind of builds something really special. And then from the perspective of, touring musicians, it's really terrifying to have your livelihood, kind of pulled out from under you so quickly. And while we understand why it had to happen, it's been, you talk about people are grieving a lot of things, and a lot of people are changing careers and moving. It's just a lot of very dramatic shifts happening for everyone.
Absolutely. And I know for, your audience members, it's been hard for us as well because getting out for an evening of live music, getting out for an evening with friends and relatives, um, we lost all that as well. Now, some musicians um, did Zoom and Facebook live shows. And I know it didn't pay very well. In fact, I have a couple musician friends who have empty tip jars. Um, and, it's not like you want to go begging, but I really encourage people, hey, this is how they make their livelihood. So if we don't put something in that tip jar, they're not going to even get a cup of coffee tomorrow. So, what did you do to survive the financial aspect?
I mean, we did do we did do quite a lot of streaming. We got on that very quickly, actually. Uh, by 1 week into our tour being canceled and the lockdowns being started, we were like, well, we were going to play a show on Friday, so we're going to do a stream on Friday. And we sort of made it a series, and we started doing one on YouTube every Friday night for probably like, I don't know, 11 or 12 weeks in a row. And then we did some other things too. And it was really great at the beginning. And then as the weeks went on, the enthusiasm kind of dips a little. We're playing for a lot of the same people again. So even the people who wanted to support us and give us donations. They're not going to keep donating every week, and I wouldn't expect them to or ask them to. So that sort of you know became less effective over time, but it was great at the beginning.
Yeah. I
Absolutely.
mean, we had merch sales. We tried to remotely record things for people. We lived with Chris's parents for a while.
Yes.
Everybody had various strategies.
Do what you got to do.
Well, and absolutely. And now that we are slowly coming out of this, and I say slowly because there are some areas that are still, even if they're not locked down, they probably should be locked down.
Mhm.
I know here in Ohio, all of a sudden we have a huge increase in cases again. Um, and it's scary because here we thought, oh, January 1st, 2021, life is going to change. And it is, but not as quickly as some of us would like it to. But what I like what they're doing at Cafe Lena is something wonderful. And that is, even though it cannot be a full house, it will be a full house for the percentage of people they can bring in. People will wear a mask the whole time, so no food or beverages. So we don't have to worry about people getting, sloppy, maybe having one too many to drink while they enjoy your music. So tell us a little bit about your music. What is your mainstay?
Well, we're, fairly vocal harmony focused. It is kind of that classic folk elements of, harmonizing vocals and, acoustic instruments for the most part. We've branched out a little bit, but yeah, and just trying to write heartfelt songs. I mean, it's a lot about family and processing what life throws at us. So yeah, it's I guess that's sort of we love people like Crosby, Stills and Nash if we look that direction, and then current faves of ours would also be people like Andrew Bird or Gillian Welsh is a songwriting hero of mine. So trying our best to cobble those things together into us.
Absolutely. So you said that 2 years ago you played under a different name, and you said it was called.
Oh, sorry. We played with another
Oh,
band.
played with another band. Okay, okay. So you've always been Honeysuckle, right?
Yeah.
Where did the name come from?
Well, it's a strange story, but so we had a third member until about a year and a half ago, and he came up with the name. We have a lot of songs about death, and he said that he went to a funeral and there were honeysuckle flowers around, and so he like always associates death and honeysuckle flowers. So that's our weird story. We should probably come up with
Well, the name to me doesn't, evoke death. It evokes uh, a much prettier sense of life. And I was listening to some of your music the other day, and I didn't realize how much I really love folk music. Um,
it.
I grew up with rock and roll, and if anybody would have asked me before I started doing these interviews, um, what's your favorite music? It definitely would have been rock and roll, up to the Beatles, and anything after the Beatles, I would say, hey, forget it. But recently, as I listen to more folk music, it's I find that I'm can reliving parts of my life. There's something in every song that can touch you, and you say, "Wow, that has meaning." So when you say that you are, writing about family and situations that you're going through, those are the same thing that your audience is going through as well. So now that Cafe Lena is opening up and New York is opening up a little bit more, what do you see as the future for this year? Do you see yourselves being able to play at more festivals and on stage?
I'm not sure about festivals. It kind of seems like people are aiming for the fall being more quote unquote normal for musicians. That seems to be when people are shooting to be able to tour, maybe still have some outdoor festivals. I know some of the like very large festivals like Bonnaroo, I believe, are in the fall now, September, October. So we'll see. You know, I'm really hoping, we're really trying to get things moving. I think the summer is probably going to look like outdoor shows in people's region where they live. I don't know that most people will be traveling very far. So yeah, we'll just kind of have to see. It's all just sort of waking up, and um, everybody's sort of talking behind the scenes, like, "Hey, did you book anything yet? Like, what do you have? Like, what do you think you can get?" You know, it's very interesting.
Yep, absolutely. I know that we keep saying that we're going to get back up to Saratoga Springs. First, we said it was going to be in May for my brother's birthday. And then the other day, my son said to me, maybe we should try for July or August. And then last night, we're talking about maybe it's going to be more like the fall, because we want to make sure that we are as protected as possible. So, in the meantime, I get to enjoy your music because it is streamed from Cafe Lena. So tell us about the date and the time of your performance coming up.
Sure. We're playing on April 23rd. It's an 8 p.m. show. And yeah, we're really excited. The in-person audience sold out, and that'll be really fun. But yeah, we're really excited that folks can stream. I have family in Ohio actually, and in Idaho, so it's kind of special to be able to bring that to their homes as well. And it's an album release show too, so it'll be a lot of new songs and some older material too.
How wonderful is that? And streaming is a fantastic way for us to get in touch with music that we may not have heard somewhere else. Um, and I just want everybody to know that if they go out and check out Honeysuckle, they will find out that your sound is just magnificent. And uh,
Thank
I was just sharing it with another music composer on a previous show, and I said, I was listening to this yesterday, and I know it's not your kind of music, but maybe you want to listen to it. And as we were talking, he started playing it in the background, and he goes, "Well, thank you for introducing me to this because I never would have listened to this before." And I said, that's what our show does. We want to introduce you to new things. And you know what? You may not like every song, but you know what? You can like a majority of it. And I think that's terrific. So we look forward to you coming back on stage. Hopefully you'll get to Ohio and perform here too. That would be great.
As
Yeah.
soon as we can.
I would
Yeah.
love it. Where in Ohio do you have family? Give them a shout out.
Oh yeah, and well, in Akron and in Cleveland. So yeah, my grandparents in Akron, my Aunt Pam in Cleveland.
Okay, well, we are right in the middle of Akron and Cleveland. So a big shout out to your family. And Idaho, that's a long ways away, but they still can, you know, do a stream. So we look forward to it. Have a great day and thanks for joining us. Okay.
Thank you
Yeah.
so much for having us.
Thank you.
Take care. Bye bye now.